If you're watching this video, then you're probably thinking about giving up on trading. Trust me when I say that you are not alone in this thought. Everybody goes through it. It is completely normal. But by the end of this video, hopefully I can help you feel a little bit better about trading and provide a little bit of clarity. But before we get into the video, be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel because we're putting out content every single day and you do not want to miss it. Let's get in the video. Day trading is extremely hard. It's not an easy career path. This is not something that you can just hop into and just automatically succeed at. You know, when I started trading, I went through tons and tons of failure. I had to overcome tons and tons of losses, lost so much personal money. You know, then joined prop firms and lost money in prop firms. I'd run up an account, get a decent amount of profit in there, and then eventually just lose it all. And I got into the trenches with trading. I eventually got to a point to where I wanted to give up. I didn't want to continue doing this because I had to go against everything that I was as a person. And by that, I mean, I had to go against my mindset. I had to go against my emotions because trading pulls out who you are at your core. It pulls out your emotions. It pulls out who you are mentally. It pulls out everything about you. And so when you have to go against that, it's human nature to not feel comfortable and to be very uncomfortable and to be in a situation to where you are ready to just give up and call it quits. But there are a few things that I want you to think about and consider before you do actually give up on trading. We're going to take it all the way back to when I started trading about 5 years ago. At first, when I started trading, I needed the extra income. I wasn't making very much money. I had a very low paying job. I was working for a news station that didn't pay me very well. I was making maybe like $28,000 a year, right? Horrible money. And I knew I needed something else. And I was always a person of side hustles and trying to figure out a way to make money on the side outside of my full-time job. I've always had that. And trading, when I came across it, was by far the hardest thing I have ever encountered. You look at business owners and entrepreneurship, that's what you're doing. If you are going into trading, you are an entrepreneur, you are a business owner, and it is not easy. It's not an easy path. And trading forces you to go against everything you are at your core and retrain you at those things like your emotions or your mindset. You get retrained on how you think. And so when people come up against that wall of uncomfortability, it's tough to break through. And so for me, when I first got into that and I first came across that feeling like, man, like my emotions are wild because I'm looking at my P&L and I'm seeing it go up, down, up, down, up, down, like a roller coaster. So when I experienced that, I did not take it very well at first. I would kill my trades very fast and I would take these huge losses, and I just wasn't very good at handling or controlling my emotions. So what happened? I failed over and over and over and over and over again. Literally, that's all I did was fail. I lost so much money. It took a toll on me, took a toll on my marriage, took a toll on everything. But deep down, I knew that other people were making this work, so I knew that I could do the exact same thing. Maybe it would take me longer than others. Maybe I'll get it quicker than some. But I knew eventually that if I continued, that I was going to make it work eventually. And so it all boiled down to why I was doing this. And digging down to the core. Now, my why has changed on why I'm trading. Everything's changed, and I'll get into that later on in this video. But I started trading, and the why behind my trading was because ultimately I wanted a better life. I wanted a better life for myself, for my family, you know, for everyone around me. And I knew that trading would provide a gateway for me to do that. And so I knew that if I focused on that alone, I didn't worry about anything else. I focused on why I am sitting here in front of my computer and looking at these charts and taking trades. I'm just remembering that I'm doing this because of this result. And that's, I want a better life. And I want my family to have a better life. And going into my next point here, anything worth having never comes easy. It's always hard. And I know that trading was going to take a lot of time. And trust me, I've sat in front of my computer for hours on end, just staring at charts, watching how price moves, studying it, trying to learn it, watching YouTube videos. I've hired mentors, done it all. But I knew what it boiled down to is I just need to stay in the game long enough. If you look at professional sports players, right? Just take a professional baseball player. That player probably started at the age of like 3 to 5 playing baseball, and they played year around, right? When I was younger, and I never made it to the pros, but when I was younger, I played baseball year round. Like I started at a very young age. I was always on all-star teams and travel teams in between regular season leagues. And so I played year round. And these pros, that's what they did. They played at a very young age, year round, and was in the game long enough to gain the skill that they needed to make it to the pros and put the time in, the practice in. Trading is no different. It is absolutely no different. As hard as it is to become a professional sports player, it's just as hard, if not harder, to become a successful day trader. This industry isn't easy and it takes a lot out of you. So at the end of the day, it's just how long can you stay in this until you actually get it right? How many times can you fail? How many times can you get it wrong until you finally hit that pivot point of you're getting it right? And for some, that might be a year, could be 2 years. For me, it was about 3-ish. Could take longer for others. But you just got to stay in it long enough for it to work. Because eventually you're going to learn from all the mistakes. You're going to have put the time in. You're going to learn all of these different things from all the times you failed. And it's going to put you on a better path and a successful one with your trading. And going back to my journey here, when I got with a prop firm, I got funded a lot. I've blown a lot of funded accounts. And that feeling of blowing funded accounts is not good. It's way different than blowing an evaluation, because you go through the evaluation process and you finally get a funded account and then you blow it and it's like, wow, I just ruined my opportunity to make money. Now I got to start all over again. And it's not a good feeling. Not a good feeling. I went through several funded accounts that I had blown all of them. It wasn't until way later, many funded accounts later, when I actually started succeeding and started holding on to those funded accounts, making money in those accounts. And one thing I want you to keep in mind that actually leads into my third point here is what you can do when you actually make it. When you actually start getting consistent profits, you actually start making money, it opens up so many doors for you, because at the end of the day, when you're done trading, not only do you have time and freedom to go do whatever you want and spend time with your family, whatever it is, maybe go on vacation, go travel somewhere, whatever it is, right? If you make it and you have this trading profit coming in, it allows you to fund other things in your life, other projects, get into a house, get into a new vehicle, send your wife or husband to do something that they've always wanted to do, cross off something on the bucket list, right? For me, I now get to fund different projects. Like I'm funding long-term stock plays, long-term stock accounts, swing trading accounts. I'm funding real estate. I'm getting the opportunity to fund a lot of different things. And so if you just think long-term, don't think so much in the now in trading, and think about what will happen when you finally get there, what you're able to do. Even like sit down and map it out, like get a notebook and write down all of the things that you're going to do, you want to do, and have a plan for what you want to do when you make it, and look at that every single day. All right. Keep it on your desk or keep it in your laptop bag or wherever it is, wherever your computer is, keep it by your computer. And before you start trading, go read that and read it twice and get clarity on why you're sitting there in front of your screen. There's also something that I had done a long time ago that I still sometimes read is I created a document on Google Docs on who is Joey Morgan? Like, who am I? And this is written for the future. So like I'm describing who I am 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right? And it would be Joey Morgan, professional day trader, $1 million real estate investor, family man of 2 kids, travels the world, owns this, that, and the other. Like it describes who I am 5 to 10 years from now. And I used to read that every single day. Every single day I would read that. And it provided the clarity on why I'm sitting here doing what I'm doing. Sometimes all it takes is for you to really just dig down deep and figure out why you're sitting down at your computer and doing all the things you are. So if you can take all of these 3 points I just mentioned on why you're trading, why are you doing this? What's in it for you? What's in it for everybody else? What's your plan? And you'd really just dig deep on all of this. You find the clarity you need to keep going, and you find that strength to keep going, and you don't want to give up, because then you're giving up everything that you just laid out for yourself. And that's a tough feeling. So if you're thinking about giving up, just don't. Rewatch this video. Again, go write down why you're doing what you're doing and set a plan for yourself. This honestly applies to anything, right? Not just trading. It could be entrepreneurship in general, right? But think about your why, be in the game long enough, and really just focus on what's in front of you in the long-term play. I'm going to leave you with this. And I always say this. If you win the weeks, you win the month. And if you win the months, you win the year. If you focus on that, you're going to get to the end of the year and be like, wow, I actually did really, really good for myself. So keep going. Keep pushing. You got this.